This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Old people are useless. That's what I like to say. They have no worth. Might as well just put them on an ice float and push them out to sea. We don't allow old people on this show. I'm young. Welcome one, welcome all to RulaskaThoughts, a show where we deep dive into the topics brought up, usually on RuPaul's Drag Race, but seemingly on some of our own shows sometimes.
I do love that. I love recapping recaps.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Before we get into that, though, let's bring in my good buddy. He's the one, he's the only. He's in a foursome tonight. Roberto Mata. Hello, Robert.
Hi. My back hurts. My joints.
Does it really?
They ache, sister. Well, I did get back from the gym, but I guess in a spry way, it hurts. Like I just did Juicy's handstand into a flip kind of move, when really all I was doing was lat pull downs.
Well, maybe you'll get it. Maybe you'll get it cracked tonight.
As I said, I am indeed going to go watch a gay play on Valentine's Day called Foursome with my Valentine, but I do not think we will be taking that all the way to the bedroom.
Well, I guess a lot of us are in denial today.
What are you in denial about, Mama?
My age. So, Robert, what's been going on in the past week since we talked to you last? Any big news? Any big events before we take a break and then come back and talk about this show?
Nothing super major. Just bopping along with the usual stuff. I know you love to hear that answer. Just by far your favorite thing to hear.
Is that you haven't been doing anything? You know, let me ask you this question. I ask this every week, and why skip a week? Here we are, RulaskaThoughts. This is the show that we do when we do a deep. What did you think of this week's recap?
I thought that Nathan was giving good energy. Mm-hmm. I think that it's always good when he is able to synthesize so many disparate thoughts and align them with the stars and with your passionate desire to discuss every minute detail of the show.
I'm going to tell you something. It's something that bothers me. I've noticed this a lot in my shows. When after we edit after we record, I edit the shows, and there's different tracks. There's a track for the music, a track for the sound effects, a track for my voice, a track for your voice, and I see it all. Now, obviously, the music track only has like a blip at the beginning, a blip at the end, maybe a blip in the middle for the break, and then there's the voice tracks. And especially with Nathan, I'm always like so embarrassed that my track is almost like a single block of just waves, and Nathan's just looking a little bit like a but like there's these little blips where he gets to talk.
Perhaps he's just polite.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, and people already know this. There is no way. I mean, Just Between Us Girls was so long. It was like an hour 10. Now, the only the expensive tier got the full one. I'm cutting out a big chunk, and I'm going to give that to expensive tier. So, but I think the other ones got like a 45-minute show, something like that. So you got a long one too, maybe 50-minute show. So we've been gabbing it up on Just Between Us Girls. Once again, another one where I'm just going on. The only little parts where Nathan talks is when he brings up the topic I told him to remember to bring it up to me.
Why must you excoriate this poor boy so?
No, I'm not excoriating him. I feel sorry for him is what I'm saying. I don't shut the fuck up.
Did you catch the K in Kunt?
You know what? I was thinking about that on this episode because there is a part where it kind of bordered on that, right?
Which pit?
One of the bits had the word cunt, and they were kind of hitting it a little hard so we heard it, but I was thinking of that quote during that bit. I don't remember which one it was.
Well, I'd love to hear you watch the show again and then recap it and then excoriate the person in question.
Well, listen, on that note, first of all, everybody, patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia, use the app, Apple Podcasts, all that. You know how it is. I'm not going to do a big plug here. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Robert's going to give us all his thoughts on this episode. Because, of course, I've talked about it already for an hour. And then we are going to talk about what happened on the big takeaway. I had Robert listen to it. We'll see what happens there. Hold on. We'll be back right after this.
This podcast is supported by MIDI Health. Are you in midlife, feeling dismissed, unheard, or just plain tired of the old healthcare system? You're not alone. In fact, even today, 75% of women seeking care for menopause and perimenopause issues are left entirely untreated. But it's time for a change. It's time for MIDI. MIDI's not just a healthcare provider. It's a women's telehealth clinic founded and supported by world-class leaders in women's health. Their clinicians provide one-on-one, face-to-face consultations where they truly listen to your unique needs. They offer a full range of holistic, data-driven solutions that isn't one-size-fits-all care. This is care uniquely tailored for you. At MIDI, you will find that their mission is clear: to help all women thrive in midlife, giving them access to the healthcare they deserve. Because they believe midlife isn't the middle at all. It is the beginning of your second act. Ready to feel your best and write your second act script? Visit joinmidi.com today to book your personalized, insurance-covered virtual visit. That's joinmidi.com. MIDI, the care women deserve.
And we are back. Robert Mata, how the hell are you? Well, we were asked that. We just talked about that right now. You really had no answer. But
I'm alive. I'm grateful-ish to be.
Anyways, Robert, we're here to talk about the show. I'm sure you've watched the episode. You listened to the podcast. You listened to the big takeaway. You listened to the recap. You listened to it all.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts on this episode? Because I've said it already. I've already said my piece.
Of course. In depth at that.
In depth. I was telling somebody yesterday, my other gig, I don't talk about my life. And, but I went to Disneyland with one of my coworkers, and on the way home, we drove in together. I decided to open up, and I started it with, I know my life because of what I do is going to sound like a lie. And she was just quiet the whole time. And I'm like, this sounds like a lie. She thinks I'm lying, even though I called it and said it's going to sound like a lie. She thinks I'm lying. But I told her, one of the things I told her, I go like, yeah, I have to go home and do a podcast about RuPaul's Drag Race. I have to do like 3 of them. And you could tell she was like, what? 3? Anyway, go ahead.
Wait, this is not connected to the Lori conversation that we will have soon. Lori adjacent conversation we'll have soon. But how old is she? How old
21.
are you? Oh, wow. Wait, hold it. You're just traipsing around Disneyland with a 21-year-old chola?
She wasn't a chola.
Oh,
She's
she
more
wasn't?
like how would you put it? It is a class of Mexican. She's not a chola. Just like this is only gonna make sense to nobody, but like a Montebello girl. I don't know.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, if that makes any sense. Or from Whittier. I don't know what that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Whittier's
Well, Whittier hits perfect because that's my
Yeah.
sister-in-law.
Yeah. So
Sister in
like,
common law,
she's that
really.
kind. She's that kind of Mexican. She's like a Whittier Mexican.
Work. Look, I know she had Betty Boop stickers on her binder.
She probably did.
Do kids still have binders?
I don't know. I used to have something called a Trapper Keeper, which is so rad. I don't think that existed when you were a kid. Trapper Keepers were the best.
No, it sounds homophobic and transphobic.
It was.
It's weird.
Yeah. Anyway, your thoughts on the show?
I actually, in the spirit of RulaskaThoughts, probably for the first time this season, maybe because it's a political episode, I have several takes, actually. Mm-hmm. Really in stark contrast to last week where we were just gabbing about what the fuck ever, right?
Yeah.
To start off top, I didn't realize this last week, and I should have, really the last couple of weeks. And it's not a massive note, but it is a production note. Sure. I don't understand why this show had an unequal amount of queens on each week of the talent show, especially with Rate a Queen in the question. So you had six queens go the first week and 5 queens rating them, and then 5 queens go the second week and then 6 queens rating them. And obviously that just changes like the statistical probability of like one's impact of the voting and whether or not you're going to be in the bottom 2. And I don't know if that was done to level the playing field of, say, the bottom queen from the first week having a couple of days to strategize and consider their lip sync and prepare mentally for the lip sync for your life moment. But either way, again, it's not a massive note. I just realized that during the otherwise completely pointless and toothless voting receipts, that it's just messy production to me. You are entirely in control of making sure that you pick weeks to do the talent show where there are equal numbers of girls on each week. It just doesn't, it's just messy. What do you think?
Do you think maybe perhaps the Mia Juicy double Shantae maybe threw things off?
No, because there hasn't been a double Shantae that hasn't felt scripted in a sense that's, oh my God, we have to completely change our episode sequence. It like doesn't, nothing has changed the plan. The plan was seemingly always to have 6 queens go one week and 5 the following, and that just doesn't make sense to me. Every queen who got to vote the first week had more power than the queens who were voting the second week. I didn't run the numbers, but it's, like 20%.
Well, I'll have to
16?
put the numbers into ChatGPT. And then ChatGPT can tell us how the odds work.
I don't trust ChatGPT, Crow.
Oh, I forgot to ask my parents this. When I went to my cousin's for this funeral, people don't know what I'm talking about. I don't care. I'm having a private conversation with Robert. One of my uncles was saying at my cousin's house that during like the opening parts of the funeral, there was an AI video of my aunt from like youth. Like she would be walking in a garden. She was getting like older and turning around and like walking and stuff like that.
What?
Yes. I forgot to ask my parents about this.
No. That
my sister, my cousin Natalie
kind of
was
bleak. I'm sorry.
My cousin Natalie was horrified by this thought.
I'm standing with Natalie. Was that her mother?
No.
Oh. Well, okay. Well, that aside, and tangentially related, really not in any significant way, but I was definitely disappointed that Mikey Meeks had nothing to say to the rest of the girls about voting her in the bottom, and then following up with this like really wet noodle kind of pathetic, like, look, I'm wearing this revenge t-shirt, and then just like having no follow through with that, whatever. But then she went up in my estimation when she made the Stephanie Miller jokes about foreign trade, and I think it just kind of revealed either the fact that Ru and Michelle are either not clued in on basic names of basic members of this administration who are driving the issues at hand, or the show has no interest in actually speaking about any issues specifically, rather than just referring to politics as something that's going on with vague air quotes. But why was there no reference to the fact that that was an obvious parody on Stephen Miller?
I didn't clock it. Do you think, I mean, I didn't clock it till right now when you said a parody of Stephen Miller. I was racking my brain like, is there a Stephanie Miller that I don't know about? But now that you say it, it makes sense. But I didn't clock it.
Well, I'm disappointed that the show did not draw attention to it to talk about the actual, and this is, kind of silly to say, but the power of drag to actually make a specific critique or satire of a person who is very much driving the anti-immigration rhetoric and policy in this country.
Has Michael Meeks commented on this?
She named herself Stephanie Miller, not apropos of nothing. You know what I mean?
But I don't know. I mean, it is interesting. Are you the only one that's pointed it out? Did you see this somewhere, or
No,
did you
I just watched this episode like an hour ago, 2 hours ago.
Oh, I
haven't even had time to like run through.
I didn't clock it.
Like, what does RuPaul Drag Race Cringe think about this? I don't fucking know.
I didn't clock it. So kudos to you for picking up on that.
Well, she said her name like 3 times.
I know, but I still didn't clock it.
It's better than Donna Trump.
Look,
I had like war
Robert,
flashbacks to Trump the musical. Ugh.
I didn't go to Stanford, okay? Stop. We get it.
I think deeper knowledge of Stephen Miller is more of an LA thing these days than a Stanford thing.
Yeah, because he's from Santa Monica, which is so disgusting.
Yeah. He said Latinas can't go to the beach.
He sure did. He certainly did. No, they can
fucking
go to the
puto.
beach. They're just going to take them back to where they go to the beach, go into the ocean, and he's going to ship them back to Mexico.
No. I don't know if I'm allowed to laugh at that, considering it is
Why
my
wouldn't you
community,
be allowed?
but it's not my immediate community.
What's not your immediate community?
The people who are very much being subjugated by this current regime.
Well, same thing with me, but they're human beings. Are you not? Are you robot, Mata?
No, not as far as I'm aware. I bleed blood. My own blood, in fact. Anyways, so Mikey Meeks, it just her coming up with the Stephanie Miller bit, the show not drawing any attention to it, just reminded me that the show has no interest in drawing any specific critique. It's so defanged, declawed, whatever the proper term is. It's just, we're going to reference politics in midterms, and that's as deep as we're going to go. And
they're
cool,
literally
I guess.
filming it much closer to the inauguration of Donald Trump than to the actual midterms.
You're correct in that.
So they probably just, how much can they say? Because they don't know what the world's going to be like, 7 months later, 8 months later.
Well, I mean, not to be an annoying, like seemingly slacktivist about this, but if it was last summer, I was on the streets downtown protesting the very same things that we're continuing to do.
We know you were so busy protesting you couldn't even say hi to me from 10 feet away.
Well, that was at the ha ha hoo ha la la land gay protest.
Which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about the unfortunate, more gritty, like running from gas bombs downtown protests.
Girl, you weren't ready. You were. I
wasn't. I was just talking about the
screenwriting
environment.
contest or something like that, or
I
film
was not.
festival.
I would never join a screenwriting contest because that's not my writing.
Oh, wait,
medium.
you were not downtown. Hold on, I'm calling.
I
you
was
out on
downtown.
this. No, that's not what
I told you
finish,
that.
Let
Not
me
that
finish
day.
my sentence. Let me finish my sentence.
My bad.
You were not downtown for the protest. You were downtown because somebody was in like a screenwriting thing or film festival or something.
Oh no, you're combining stories over the same general period of time. I was downtown protesting during the weekdays, and then the following Saturday, where we went to the same West Hollywood protest, really more of a pep rally. That was when my boyfriend at the time had a film festival downtown.
The time you're going with them tonight to see go watch a foursome.
Yeah, but we haven't officially retitled ourselves boyfriends yet, girl. Life is so complex.
The other day I was talking to this Robert. I'm not going to say this on the air. Never mind. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, say it.
No, I don't want to say it.
Now I'm enjoying it a little bit back and forth, Mama.
I was talking to this Robert, and he was talking about this guy, and he goes, "Well, something, Then he was like, do you want to break up?" And I was like, "Break up? You're not together." And he was like, "Humana."
No, I said you're right. That was exactly my point. I was like, if you want to threaten me with breaking up, maybe we should be together officially first. Though, I'm sorry for anyone listening. I'm being vague, not intentionally, just because who gives a fuck about my relationships ups and downs. But Mikey.
Okay, so then you were saying about the show.
Just that the show's toothless. It's just, I guess I appreciate the fact that it's a politics themed episode, but it just didn't have anything to say other than the fact that politics exists, which I will be a little bit of a Discord Adams here and thumbs up and say, hey, cool, I guess. But I guess that's the best you can do.
Let me ask you a really simple question, but I think it really strikes at the heart of the matter. Did you enjoy watching this episode?
I did, actually. I thought that this episode had a surprising lack of bad cringe. The girls did adequately in a way that I wouldn't say that they were smart promo / political ads, but I do think that they were pretty adept. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about this because I was on this Reddit. And now this was in the immediate aftermath of the airing of the episode. So things can change drastically over there, especially, between the first responders and later. But in the the early aftermath of the show, there were people who were like, I really enjoyed this episode. I really liked it. Blah, 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 blah. This cast every week, they knock it out of the park. And what I'm going to say is I'm not disagreeing with them. I'm kind of agnostic on this show now. I'm not disagreeing with them. But what I'm saying is we could be in this circumstance, and I've seen it before with other shows and franchises, where it's not a bad season. Season 15 might have been like this. It's not a bad season. It's fun to watch, but it's not a fun show to recap, if that makes any sense. So it does the job. It scratches the itch, if you will. It satiates. The nourishment is palatable, but it's not really, there's nothing you can really sink your teeth into, if that makes any sense.
Which I think is why the subject matter being politics gives me an opportunity to actually speak more fluently about the show. Because if it was just another, I don't know, talent show episode, what would we have to say? But when it comes to matters of politics, I'm like, there's plenty to say, actually. The endless font.
The politics of wearing pads or fake boobs.
I do think that which one did I enjoy the most? I think conceptually, I think I appreciate the show's willingness to directly engage, at least in parody, about the over presence of Instagram / TikTok social media queens. And I think that was probably an undercooked storyline that I guess kind of in your current argument came to a head in the lip sync in a very loosely thematic way. But I think I was just enjoying that. I felt like the writers were doing a better job. I will say that, again, I do think it was a bit toothless, but even still, I think that the content was of a higher quality than they're used to providing.
So, before we get into the whole argument I had with Lori on the big takeaway, did you have any other thoughts on the episode?
I had a few more thoughts.
Sure, go ahead.
In the sense that I think up until this episode, I've kind of assumed that Nini Coco would be the winner of the season. I just think the show tends to reward a queen like that. And no one, to be clear, I don't think anyone is standing out as a frontrunner or a winner. And I don't think any of them really have that excessive star quality that makes it obvious. But I think that until now, I kind of thought that Nini would be like a dark horse type of queen. Not even really a dark horse. She won the first challenge. But regardless, her political ad I thought was super rote and really disappointing and really not smart. And for that, because she's, look at me, I'm so brainy. Look at me, I'm a mechanical engineer. Look at me, my favorite body part are the folds on my brain. It was just really
Future
disappointing.
Joe, can you make sure to pull those clips for sound clips? Thanks. Go ahead.
When are you going to use that? When have you ever heard me say anything to that
like
effect?
What?
I was disappointed in Miss Nini Coco. Nary an original thought escaped Mama's mouth today. And I think that this was a great challenge for her to be incisive and intelligent and show it rather than say it.
But doesn't that speak to something I brought up that was sort of like not brushed over, but we didn't spend that much time on? In that I think this cast is a very talented cast. And I do think this cast has a lot of potential, but it feels like they're all holding back. It feels like they're all holding their cards very close to their vest, and there isn't one of them that's willing to go out there and put themselves on the line.
Yeah, I think that Nini is a good example of that right now. I think that Darlene's trying her best at it and is probably succeeding at it in the sense that people seem to enjoy her understated kookiness, I think, is the way to describe it right now. And certainly she's not highlighted in the edit, so.
But maybe that's what people are really finding themselves drawn to in all these more, maybe they're more talented queens, but they're holding back. And so there's an artificiality to it. But with Darlene, because she is giving everything she has, there is something you can connect to. It's more genuine.
Yeah. I think also I've harped on this in several episodes in the past, and I don't mean to be a grump about it, but she has such a blindingly wide smile that I think that authenticity seems to sort of roll off of her energy and physical wise. Yeah. So I was disappointed in Nene, and also I've clocked Mikey Meek's tea, which is all of her quote unquote humor is all like tautological, repetitive, like my name's Mikey Meeks, but you can call me Mikey Meeks, or in English, no, and in Spanish, no. And I think there was one more where she was like, I'm a CEO from 9 to 5, and I'm a slut from 9 to 5. It's just that those are all her joke setups. I think you could speak more eloquently about it than I'm doing right now, but they're all the same.
It's funny that you say that. Okay. I don't know if Lori was in a fucking mood yesterday or what her fucking deal was. I'm the big takeaway, because 3 hours after we recorded it, I saw this TikTok from this bespectacled guy, nerdy guy, the kind of guy when I tell you what he was talking about, imagine what that kind of guy would look like and you'd be correct. Okay. But,
don't excoriate this poor man.
Is excoriate the word of the day? Are you getting paid every time you say excoriate?
Have you not clocked your own tea yet, sister?
Do I say excoriate a lot?
Every fucking week this season. It's been cracking me up. You haven't heard me giggle every time you say excoriate?
No. I was like, why is he so stuck on excoriating things? Okay.
All right, very good.
Which is funny because the word that I think I've been saying a lot is there is one. Next time I say it, I'm like, I keep saying this. But it wasn't excoriate, but thank you for pointing that out. No, there's some other word that I've been like, why am I saying, agnostic. I said it today. I'm like, why do I keep saying I'm agnostic about things? Okay.
God's on the mind or not.
I know. So, so this guy, he did a TikTok, video and analyzing why SNL sucks. That's just for people who haven't been along as long as I have. People have been saying SNL sucks since like 1980. Okay.
It's an easy target.
It is an easy target, but there really truly are waves with SNL where there's times when the cast really works and it's really on it and it's really on the pulse of the country. And then there's times where it's just completely garbage. Okay. And it's been like that throughout its history. But this guy provided analysis for recently, for the past 10 years, why the show hasn't been very good. And his explanation is that the show has shifted from a character-driven type of sketch comedy to a game type of sketch comedy. And that the old farming grounds for SNL were Second City and the Groundlings. And they've now shifted to UCB, Upright Citizens Brigade, as the new training ground. And Groundlings and Second City are very character-driven type of sketch comedy, and UCB is a game type of sketch comedy. He gave examples of both, and what you just used with Mikey Meeks is very much an example, kind of that. The example he used is in a game type of comedy is that there'll be a situation and then they just throw this random ass shit into the situation and then they keep building onto it, you know? And actually, I think a lot of the improv that Lori and I do with each other is that sort of comedy as well. Okay. And that the old SNL was more character driven. So anyway, the point is I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I don't know if I agree with it or not, but okay. And so I sent it to Lori and Lori just wrote me this. This is very Lori, right?
Lori loves talking about the game.
I know. But the first response I get from her is she goes, I watched the first 3 seconds and I don't need a man telling me why SNL isn't funny. And I was like, okay. I go, well, I just thought the theory he had was interesting. And then she wrote, I'm going to read it. I'm going to read the quote. She wrote back to me, I couldn't care less what his theory is. I watch SNL like twice a year. There you go. And I was like, oh, okay, well,
Okay.
there you go. So
She says she doesn't need a theory. She already doesn't.
I don't know. She's been in a mood.
Fuck
Maybe
your
she's-
theory.
Yeah. So the point is, I think, Mikey Meeks, who is a self-avowed, SNL groupie. She thought she was on SNL.
She fucking cried about it.
Yeah.
Come on, sister, pull it together.
And she's of a certain age. This guy said it's been like this for the past 10 years. So obviously SNL from the past 10 years has really influenced her. And so perhaps really influenced that style of comedy where it is very much like that. It very much is, there's these like go-to jokes you go to where like, yeah, it's the like, but RuPaul and Michelle do the same thing too. It's like, and I do that because I'm a whore. I
Definitely.
like actually on this episode too, where like, look, everybody should know this, and everybody does know this. But this is where I think Michelle's such a fucking idiot. Is RuPaul will go out there, she, dun 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 dun, and then she comes in and she goes, if it isn't Michelle Visage, and then she slow pitches some stupid ass double entendre, right?
Today's was not awful, I will say.
It wasn't, but Michelle,
she loves to reach across the aisle.
Yeah, but then okay, but then I thought Michelle fumbled it. Because Rue's already making it's implied when she says she loves to reach across the aisle, and then Michelle goes, and also I like to go over give him hand jobs or something like that. I'm like, yeah, bitch.
She likes to reach around.
Yeah, and I'm like, that was the joke, bitch.
I will say at least she's giving more than, unfortunately, and I said this, I excoriated RuPaul for this in Global All-Stars several times. Why on earth does every single time poor sweet Jamal Sims is introduced, it's always him putting the D in something? He puts the D in Democrat, Jamal Sims, and he can't do anything but chuckle and be like, fuck, another joke about my dick that has never once come up.
Yeah, it is a very strange thing. It is very... I love that Robert's excoriating RuPaul for making fun of just Jamal Sims.
I was thinking yesterday not yesterday, but last week when we were talking about our diva conversation.
Well, Jamal puts the D in diva.
Probably a few several over the years. Back before I started to really, I think maybe, let me back up a bit. My favorite drag queen since the fall of Shangela, rightfully so, and I'm kind of cooled on Valentina a bit, and same with Bob. I've kind of gotten over it over the years, but one of my favorite drag queens is early season RuPaul. I don't think I've ever talked about how like I fucking love early season RuPaul, and just how quick and funny and like that's the foundation of the show. I feel like maybe that's why we don't have to talk about it very often. But I do think I have a certain amount of diva worship for old season RuPaul. Current season RuPaul is far too corporate. But yeah, I'm just connecting that with the diva and excoriating RuPaul. I don't mean to do so. It's just I know she's funnier and quicker and better than that. That's it.
Well, there you go. Well, I don't know that much about this, what I'm going to talk about right now. And I wish I would have had more time to prepare because I do think it's germane to what I want to talk about in a bit in terms of the Lori thing. But I saw someone on Reddit talk about the Flanderization of RuPaul's Drag Race. And I know this is some sort of pop culture theory having to do, I think, with The Simpsons and how the evolution of the character of Ned Flanders.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody in the comments like, yes, that's exactly, that nails it. Let me do a quick Google search for the Flanderization. What that means.
Well, it's reducing what could have been a wider array of characteristics to one single point that you continually hit over and over and over and over again.
Oh, I see. Well, then how would I took it to mean something else. So what does that, how would you, how
I could
does
be
that,
wrong.
No, you're right. I just looked it up. How does that apply to the show?
Maybe exactly as you said, that we know that we're always going to get the same rote Michelle's a whore jokes. We're going to get the same, the same RuPaul will, bring out her, girl from the hood accent when she needs to be funny. which, is, again, that is old school RuPaul. She'll bring out, Carson will make a joke about how he doesn't have a gag reflex, and Ross Matthews will tell a long meandering story about a time he was at the fucking grocery store.
Did you see that Ross is going to be the Pope in a Snatch Game? I was like, oh God, this is going to be awful next week.
I thought that was Discord.
Oh, I thought it was Ross Matthews. Oh, I hope it's Discord. Okay, thank God.
Why would
okay.
Ross Matthews be in the Snatch Game?
Why? Remember when Ross Matthews was the Truman Capote?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I have 2 more points about the episode that I'll run through awfully quickly.
No, take as much time as you want.
But why the fuck are we experimenting with Snatch Game? I realize on the regular season,
All Stars, yeah.
I realize that like the girls have not been good at Snatch Game lately, but that's not the format of Snatch Game's fault. That's the girls' fault.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm more than happy to come for production and their silliness. I don't think Snatch Game is the problem.
Yeah. No, it's not the problem. It's the stupidity of the girls. I mean, honestly, it's probably one of those things where they should really heavily coach the girls, and like, look.
But they know it's coming. Not to sound like an upset chick in Untucked.
No, but it has nothing to do with that anymore. It's one of these things where the show is no longer insulated, which is a bad thing. Some of the girls get it. In fact, Vita got it this week, and now she's gone. But it's not about, to be successful on the show, it's about impressing RuPaul. But a lot of the girls, especially the young girls, they're thinking about their hometown bar and their friends and what they're going to laugh at. And that's why they think they're going to laugh at, because they're portraying, clavicular or something like that on the show, and not someone that RuPaul knows who they are, And so
who the fuck is clavicular?
There you go. You see? And so, look, clavicular is a looks maxer, Robert.
Oh my God. Next.
I'm just saying that's a person that but they would be like, I'm clavicular, and
sure.
then like they're not. Then they have nothing to say as clavicular, and RuPaul doesn't know what to do with them. But they don't think I have to make RuPaul laugh, even though we've said that a million times. And by we, I mean society, not Joe Batance, right? And they don't care. They're gonna do these social media people that she has no idea who they are. Anyway,
I think the Pope will be your standard super flamboyant religious figure that we've gotten with like Jesus and the devil and stuff. So it's not the worst choice. I hope she goes with a specific Pope, so that way it's not like I'm the gold tooth fairy.
It's just gonna be the Pope. It's just gonna be and especially if you're saying it's Discord, this Discord's not funny. Anyway,
the Britney Spears thing has brought me a lot of random joy.
But it's week. Camp. She legitimately thinks that I have no idea why Sierra put her fourth. That's so weird, right? But
it was in Explained and Untucked.
They
pivoted at the end, yeah.
Oh, what'd they say?
They pivoted to all pointing at Mikey Meeks, probably because they knew she wasn't going to bite back after the fact. But hey,
yeah. But going back to what you said about Mikey Meeks is Mikey Meeks.
Mikey motherfucking Meeks to you,
Mike. Yeah, and just like Eva motherfucking Destruction. Mikey Meeks is the part she doesn't get. Again, that Vita got is like it was in a weird kind of way. It wasn't personal. It was just drag. She just wasn't in an alliance really, and so like she was the bottom of everybody's list because they had all these commitments they had to do.
Yeah. If there were 6 girls that week, maybe she would have been 5th. I don't know, because that was not the case.
No, or maybe they genuinely didn't like them. I mean, look, here's the deal. Athena didn't have agreements with everybody, and she did really well in the voting, So, and Athena, I thought the Athena's was bad. Sometimes you'll hear like there's a person who's a comedian's comedian,
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen it many times at the comedy clubs where it's this comedian that all the comics stand in the back to see them, but the audience isn't laughing, right? And it's because, they're operating on a different level. It's not necessarily bad or worse. It's comedians see so much comedy that what makes them laugh is different. And so it could be that one of these things that the girls like is not what the standard viewer would like. And so like they're a little bit out of touch. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows why they really voted the way they voted. Okay, let's get to what I was talking about. Before we do, and I think this is a good segue, is I did see something on Reddit where people were complaining about the show, and somebody said, I think this was in the same thread about the Flanderization of the show, where they was like, this show needs to get rid of these old judges. They need young judges. And I was like, no.
Who?
They're stupid, right? The show does not need young judges. The show's judges and who they have, with the exception of this horrible T.S. Madison, but it's mostly because she's a terrible person.
Well, she's also a shit judge. Name a single memorable thing she's ever done or said.
The judges they have are fine, right? What they need, though, is young writers, young staff, people behind the scenes, making up the challenges, producing the show, but they need to bring in young people for that. The show needs young blood there. They don't need young blood in front of camera. They're fine.
They need
with
young gaffers.
They need young gaffers. They need, but no, you know that though. They need young
They
producers.
definitely need someone who's better at wig styling.
The girls don't style their own wigs?
I'm talking about RuPaul.
Oh, when she went with that British wig styler, unless she got a new one.
I know, it's
Or
all
you
been
just-
powdered wigs this season.
you
Again, not
just
to
standing up for
excoriate
your-
my queen.
You standing up for your girl Delta work.
Unfortunately, knowing Delta's body of work from her time on Drag Race, I think she's the one who got Ru into the powdered wig aesthetic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she looks like a fucking extra in Pirates of the Caribbean.
We gotta go. Nathan's waiting. I gotta go.
Yeah, well, I know Nathan's waiting, but I had two more really quick fucking points.
Okay,
to
go
make.
ahead. Go
Just
ahead.
because I wrote them down, I don't want to have my thumb effort go to waste. One, on our thing about trite jokes, I think it's time we retire gonorrhea as the go-to haha hee hee STD joke. Not because like I'm sensitive about gonorrhea, I don't fucking care. I'll get the shot again. It's awful, but that's life. Just because I find it to be the new like drag queens slap each other and make out of like this show. I'm over it. Next, let's make a joke about monkeypox. Let's move on. Syphilis, perhaps. Something different. No more gonorrhea. And two, and this could have been a whole fucking episode on its own, but this show did its favorite thing this episode, which is have a political episode. And I don't think this is intentional, but have a political episode and then eliminate a black queen. It happens every time.
Is it really?
It's like shocking, actually.
All right. Well, maybe we'll discuss it next week right here on Rulaska Thoughts.